Good morning, and thank you all for joining us for this important and exciting announcement about our Safe and Sound plan. Our goal for Safe and Sound continues to focus on solutions that will keep Ellicott City safe and thriving for generations to come. And as I've stated before, I will not hesitate to adapt as our plan needs. Today, we're in the west end of Ellicott City, up the hill from the downtown area, where we originally planned many flood mitigation projects to alter the stream channel and allow for excess water to flow. When we started researching and designing these projects, we faced some obstacles that would force our stream beds and culverts to be larger. Larger culverts, which are small channels under the road for water to pass through, would have a significant impact on homes and historical properties. We heard many concerns from our community about the buildings that would need to be removed to complete these culverts and other West End projects. At this point, our team began to look at some alternative options. The most promising option was an extension of the North Tunnel. An extension of the North Tunnel has four major benefits. It would, first, reduce water levels. Second, negate the need for some of the other projects. Third, save homes and historical properties. And finally, be cost neutral. I'm pleased to announce today that we're moving forward with an extension of the North Tunnel. The current design of the North Tunnel starts in Lot F, which is right next to Ellicott Mills Drive and runs approximately 1,600 feet to outflow into the Patapsco River. The new extended design will bring the tunnel all the way from Lot F up to the vicinity of 8800 Frederick Road, totaling approximately 5,000 feet. The extended North Tunnel is designed so that during high water or flood conditions, all excess water will go into the tunnel, stay off of the street, and the existing stream channel will not need to be modified. An extension of the North Tunnel project is expected to bring water levels on the west end from about 3.5 feet in a July 2016 storm under the current design to less than half a foot. The extension would also eliminate the need for the West End projects included in our original plan. Because we no longer need to do the West End projects, there will be no building demolitions on the West End. At least 9 buildings previously slated for demolition, including the old Airlockers Tavern, where we stand today, will now be saved. In addition to the benefits I've laid out of water reduction, eliminating projects and saving properties, it's helpful that this project is also anticipated to be cost neutral. We've eliminated the cost of all the West End projects and reallocated those resources to the extended new North Tunnel. This revision to our plan will allow us to complete the extended North Tunnel project in less time than it would have taken to complete the original tunnel and the West End projects. Earlier this year, we announced that we were selected to apply for a WIFIA loan through the Environmental Protection Agency. If awarded, these funds should cover the full cost of the extended North Tunnel project. Completing this project will take coordination and collaboration with our community. To construct the North Tunnel, we will need easements from several property owners between here and the river. Our Department of Public Works should be contacting these property owners within the next several months to begin that process. I would like to extend many thanks in advance to all those community members for their cooperation and willingness to work with us. I'd also like to thank Senator Katie Fry Hester, Delegate Courtney Watson, Councilmember Liz Walsh, and the rest of the state delegation, the governor and his staff, and the county council for their continued collaboration in moving these projects forward. Thanks, Karen. It's our hope that we can negotiate these easements quickly to ensure that this project stays on track. This is a significant change to our plan, but one that achieves the goals we have always set out to achieve. Less water on the street, fewer buildings that need to be removed, and most importantly, a safer town for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ball. Now I would like to introduce Nick Redding from Preservation, Maryland.
Well, it's good to be here on perfect Maryland Day activity to celebrate the preservation of some of Maryland's most unique and historic resources. I'm Nick Redding. I'm the president and CEO of Preservation Maryland. And first and foremost, I want to sincerely thank the county executive and the entirety of Howard County government and the entire team there for the seriousness and the attention that they've shown to not only the history, but also the future of Ellicott City. We would not be here today but for County Executive Ball's leadership, and we appreciate that. As many of you know, Preservation Maryland has been committed to the future and the history of Ellicott City, what we've often referred to as one of the crown jewels of the state's historic communities. And following the floods of the past several years, our organization has partnered with local government, foundations, corporations, individuals, and organizations to deploy thousands of dollars in funding, technical assistance, and advocacy in support of the unique character of this place. But preserving this unique place has always been and always will be a balancing act with growth and the demands of a changing and often unpredictable climate. And so today's announcement that the building behind us, which will be 200 years old in another year, and an additional 8 buildings in the West End will be saved and preserved as a result of the expansion of the planned North Tunnel, is an extremely positive development for this community. But saving this tavern and several other significant structures in Ellicott City's West End isn't just a victory for history, it's a victory for the future of this community. Historic places don't just speak to our past, they tell us a lot about what we cherish and what matters, and the people and the stock from which we came. They speak to the good, the bad, the ugly. They reflect us in our truest sense, and they often provide a place for new ideas to flourish and for communities to grow and change. And that's why it's so critical that these places are protected and saved. Sometimes new ideas need old places, and that's why it's so important and such a positive development to see these places saved as a result of this leadership. The other thing to remember too is that these buildings are imbued with a sense of tenacity and perseverance. They have lived through floods and fires, wars, pandemics, and they matter. And as a result, today's news matters. The history of this place is what makes this place unique and unlike any other place in America. And preserving these buildings is no small thing, because they'll help to continue to protect the cherished character of this place. And so we're pleased to see this positive next step, And I, for one, I imagine along with the rest of us, and particularly the residents of this place, are looking forward to hearing the roar of the machines that'll begin to work on the tunnel that's making all of this preservation possible. And so we're thrilled to be here and thrilled to learn about this news and appreciate the support and the leadership of the county executive and the entire Howard County team in making this possible.
Thank you so much, Nick. Next, I would like to introduce Angie Tersiguel, community leader and owner of Tersigel's French Country Restaurant.
Thank you, Shaina. Thank you, Dr. Ball, for having me today. And I echo Dr. Ball's sentiments. Thank you to Courtney Watson, Katie Fry-Hester, Liz Walsh, the entire team out of the Howard County Executive's Office that have worked tirelessly alongside this community to further protect this community. My name is Angela Tersiguel. My husband, Michelle, and I own Tersigel's Restaurant. As a member of the Tersiguel family and our extended restaurant family, I play a small part in our family's legacy. But I look around today, and we all play a significant part in this respected and admired legacy that is Old Ellicott City. In life, we want to protect our legacy and our ancestry to protect our future. We owe it to both our ancestors and descendants to do everything within our power to protect the future of Old Ellicott City. This, of course, begs for change. Fun fact about me, I've learned in the last year, I really don't like change. I imagine I'm not the only one that feels that way. But I've spent the better part of 4 years facing challenges that have demanded nothing less but change. And so this expanded tunnel project is not only a change from an original plan, it protects the very things we don't want changed: our heritage, our homes, our neighborhood, and our community. I remain truly excited, and I look forward to the continued progress of the Ellicott City Safe and Sound Plan. I look forward to the future of this longstanding community.
Thank you so much, Angie. At this time, we will open it up to questions from the press.
What's the differences in the cost of the original project and the one that you're...
So the question is, what is the difference in cost between the original tunnel and the new extended tunnel? Mark?
So, I'm Mark DeLuca, Deputy Director of Public Works and Bureau Chief of Environmental Services. And the initial estimates, cost estimates for the original tunnel were approximately about, with design costs, about $74 million. What we found through some preliminary estimates, that without the West End projects, subtracting that out, and the incremental additional cost for the extended tunnel was a cost neutral. They balanced each other out. So we still anticipate that even the extended North Tunnel project to be approximately the same as the previous tunnel, and we're estimating about $74 million.
Other questions?
Okay, so what are they going to do with, what are you now going to do with the buildings that you're able to save? Are they going to be spruced up, built up, or repurposed, or what?
So the question is, what is now going to happen to the buildings that are owned by the county but now going to be preserved?
So one thing for sure is that we won't need to modify any of the buildings or relocate the buildings or demolish any of the buildings. So that's the most important takeaway from the extended north tunnel. During the construction of the flood mitigation plan, they will exist just the way that they are. We do intend to maintain them while we own them. And then their final disposition after we're done the flood mitigation projects, what we intend to do will be decided then, but we would just like to see them return back to residential structures. Realizing, of course, that they do exist in a 100-year floodplain.
Other questions?
$74 million is still a lot of money. You said something about EPA kicking in some money. What is that?
So the question was about the WIFIA loan that was mentioned by the county executive.
So the WIFIA loan is a great opportunity for us. It is a loan program offered through the Environmental Protection Agency. It's a federal loan program that funds water projects. We're not the only jurisdiction that is using WIFIA loans. For example, Baltimore City is using it for their Back River treatment plant. However, we are very fortunate to be applying for this loan So as far as this program allows us to borrow up to 49% of the costs of all the projects, of the watershed projects. So that significantly is reducing the amount of money that the county will have to directly put in. It is a loan program.
Other questions?
All right, one more. For the easement payouts, how much do you anticipate that each property owner will have to give up for this project to be successful?
So the question is about the easements and what property owners might have to give up in order for the project to be successful.
So I believe that the easements that we will have to obtain for this project are very much less impactful than the original West End projects would be, simply because the original projects will occur on the surface and will change the surface, the way the surface looks. With a tunnel, there's subterranean easements. So we may be 50 to 125 feet below any structure that we might pass under. So that's a significant difference in a way to evaluate an easement. So I would say that there would be no significant impact to property owners with these types of easements as opposed to traditional easement, traditional construction projects.
Any other questions? Great. Thank you so much for being here, and that concludes our press conference today.